Kevin Rudd is the Australian Prime Minister. He's in a tight re-election race, and recently, like many other center-left leaders across the world, he's changed his position to support full marriage equality. He's been pretty strong about it. He actually posted an essay explaining his change in position. And as far as these, look, some people are going to change their positions on these issues, especially baby boomer politicians. I guess more power to you. Not everybody in politics, at least now, is going to always have had the right position. But, better to be the right position now. And in a guy like Rudd's case, he seems very sincere and very passionate about it. So
let's get as many people on the right side, regardless of how they previously felt.
Exactly. So anyways, he was at a Q&A session sponsored by the Australian ABC, which I think is their public broadcasting station, public television. I'm not sure, but I think that's what it is. And he got a question from an audience member who identified himself as a Christian, I think also as a pastor, right? Is that true? Yeah, a Christian pastor.
Yes.
So this guy identified himself as a pastor, and he basically first took Rudd to task. He kind of was like, you're flip-flopping on these issues, and why did you flip-flop on gay marriage? And but there was a subtext to the question, obviously, that was very anti-gay, and Rudd explained how he'd gone through his his evolution on the question, but he pushed back on the guy and he said, "Well, I'm not clear though where this question is coming from. Is this about me changing positions, or do you think that gay people are not born as gay and that there's something wrong with being gay?"
The pastor, interestingly enough, when he asked the question, he never said gay marriage or same-sex marriage. He specifically was cautious to use that wording. He specifically was like, your feelings on marriage.
Yes.
So I think the prime minister wanted to actually hear the pastor say this so he can give him a more accurate rebuttal.
Give him a full, robust answer. We're going to play this sound. It's pretty amazing.
This is first the moderator asking the pastor to be more specific with his question.
Right.
And then you'll hear the prime minister.
Yeah.
What it is that you believe Christians in particular are upset about?
I think the thing is that every pastor we do marriages between husbands and wives, and Jesus said, a man shall leave his father and mother and be married, and that's the biblical definition. I just believe in what the Bible says, and I'm just curious for you, Kevin, if you call yourself a Christian, why don't you believe the words of Jesus in the Bible?
Well, okay, thank you.
Well, mate, if I was going to have that view, the Bible also says that slavery is a natural condition.
Just to add, the pastor right now, his face is glorious.
And I would also add,
he does the big gulp. He goes, mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I like how Rudd starts with "well, mate." It's a great Australian touch. Go ahead.
Because St. Paul said in the New Testament, slaves, be obedient to your masters. And therefore we should have all fought for the Confederacy in the US Civil War. I mean, for goodness sake, the human condition and social conditions change. What is the fundamental principle of the New Testament? It is one of universal love, loving your fellow man. And if we get obsessed with a particular definition of that through a form of sexuality, then I think we're missing the centrality of what the gospel, whether you call it a social gospel, a personal gospel, or a spiritual gospel, is all about. And therefore, I go back to my question. If you think homosexuality is an unnatural condition, then frankly, I cannot agree with you based on any element of the science. And therefore, if a person's sexuality is as they are made, then you've got to ask the second question. Should, therefore, their loving relationships be legally recognised? And the conclusion I've reached is that they should. And on the question of chopping and changing, I wrote a 2,000 or 3,000 essay, a 2,000 or 3,000 word essay, stuck it online months and months and months ago before returning to the Prime Ministership, so everyone would know why I had changed my position, the reasons for it, and it was the product of some many, many months and years of reflection in good Christian conscience.
Okay.
For Kevin Rudd and Rosh Hashanah, that was great.
That was great. Although the shot of the pastor afterwards, it sort of makes it look like he's saying to himself, like, well, I still don't like them gays, mate.
Yeah, the pastor's just like, yeah, those are a lot of fancy words, but I don't like gay people. Which is what the whole position just boils down to. It's basic bigotry.